I'm glad you've decided to fold an origami dove with me. So what you'll want to do is just take a regular piece of paper and fold one corner along parallel to the other side, which will leave you with this line here, and then you just want to fold that back to make a crease so you'll know then where to cut. So that's all you're doing here, is you're making a square out of this rectangular piece of paper. So now that you have that line, you're just going to cut that off. And you can just get rid of that because all you need is the square piece. Then you're going to fold it into a triangle, and with that triangle just fold it in half again so you'll have a smaller triangle. The better your folds, the easier it'll be to do the rest of the folds later on, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to take one loose end and fold it across like this, and just make that nice and tight. Then simply flip it over, do the same thing on the other side, line up those corners just like that. Now if you look at it, you can see it opens up like this. That's what you want it to look like at this point. Then you're going to take that top corner, fold it down to the middle of the bottom edge, and crease there, fold there. Flip it again, do the exact same thing on the other side. Take the top point and fold it down to the middle of the bottom edge. So now you have the same thing. The whole thing should be symmetrical basically all the way through. So this is what it should look like here if you kind of open it up. And you're going to take those folds that you did and essentially invert them. So you kind of have to open it up and then sort of reverse the folds and then fold it back on itself like that. So again, you're going to do that on both sides. And then once you have those sort of flipped around and inverted, you can smooth all those folds out. And then when you set it down and open it up, it kind of starts to look a little bit like a bird. But what you need to do next is flip up the one loose end and just press that down. Do the same thing on the other side. And then even more so now, you'll see that those are the wings, so the bird's sort of coming together a little bit more now. And here's what it's looking like now. So you can kind of get an idea of what yours should look like by looking at mine here. Now you're going to take the front piece, or front point I suppose, and just kind of fold it over about halfway. It should look a little like that. And you can bend it a couple times and that might make it easier. Then if you flip it upside down, you can kind of open it from the bottom, and you're going to take that fold that you just made and invert it like you did earlier when you inverted the folds. So just reverse them, press them in on each other, and you'll have a little head like that. Alright, at this point you just have a couple more steps, and you're going to take that back part, which is going to become the tail, and flip it over on itself just right along the edge, which is pretty simple. And then the next part, you sort of stick your finger in like this, and because you want to be able to fold it in half equally, and then you just press it down, and you can see that that's formed the tail. But to finish it off, you just then flip it the one half over the other side like that, press it down, and then you can mess with the tail however you want. If you like it open or closed, and that's your dove, and then you're done.